show us your fairy garden that you've been working on. It's still a work in progress. Why don't we start at this end over here?
Well, this is like the woodland theme. Over here, down here, we have the flower section here. We have a hyacinth fairy and 2 rose fairies and a cute, sweet little bunny and a hose.
Very good. And there's our flower fairy home, and they have little seashell steps to go up to their home. And of course, lots of gems.
And jewels.
And jewels, flowers. There's a bird bath. We have a sweet little honeybee area. So that must be is that the honeybee fairy over there?
Yes, the fairies, they like to go to that part. That's where they get their honey.
Oh yeah, and if any of the fairies want to enter from the tree from the bottom, that's the door they can use to get up to there. Is there an elevator inside the tree?
No, it's just a ladder.
Okay, so they like to use a ladder. So now let's tell us about this next section of the garden here that you've created.
Is also a woodland part. Here's the Lavender Fairy we were talking about. And
good.
She lives with her. And that we just use with big stones.
Oh, and Charlie's here watching. Can you say hi to Charlie?
Hi, Charlie again.
Yeah, Charlie's back. This is Lavender, the Lavender Fairy. She's sharing some things of how to make the outdoor garden. Oh, and Emmy's here too. And Lucy.
Hi, Lucy.
Oh, we're so glad that you all could join us today. Very nice. So the Lavender is just showing us some different ways to put together the fairy garden outside.
And here we haven't put the water in yet, but this is the beach spot. All here, that we're putting water in there, and in here. And then over there by the end where the woodland is, we're putting water in there too.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about what did you do to create this beach scene for the fairies?
Well, I kind of stuck a glass bowl into the sand.
For the water, right?
The water.
And what'd you use to decorate all around?
I used a little froggy, some shells. I stuck the shells in, and there's a turtle and a shell on the side. Mm-hmm. And then that's the water fairy home. And the little water flairy on the bench, she lives there.
Very nice. And looks like there's the lifeguard tower.
Mm-hmm.
So to make sure there's protection for the fairies. Very nice, and lots of seashells too, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The fairies love their seashells.
And then over here is the praying spot.
Oh, and isn't that nice? So the fairies even have their own little praying spot.
And then over here we have the woodland home, right there.
Oh yes, and here's one way that we were talking about yesterday about wonderful things that you can use to make a fairy home just out of nature.
That one was made just by leaning a bunch of stuff by the tree.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Is the other pool that I was talking about.
Okay, so that's kind of like the pond maybe, right? Where the other one's more a beach, this is a pond area. And then here's where the fairies can go camping.
Her bed is over here and those 2 beds are over there.
Oh, very cool. Kind of like the pop-up camper, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. And then here at the very end, we have a bird cage. Tell us about the bird cage. How do the fairies use that?
How the fairies use that is that's where their food are. Their food is growing up there, so it can like grow up the cage.
Oh wow, that's very nice. So we have a lot of inspiration here, don't we, to create a fairy garden? You use jewels, rocks, shells. What other materials can people find and use for their fairy gardens?
Bark, sticks, stones, and popsicle sticks like we did a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things that you can just go outside in nature and find everything you need to create a fairy garden, and then maybe add some sparkle to it.
Yeah.
But
love shiny stuff.
They sure do. Now I've got one more question for you, but if anyone else has a question for Lavender, the Lavender Fairy, please go ahead and ask. And I have one question for you, Lavender. I'm wondering, what are some things that can attract fairies to a fairy garden?
They of course love the gems and jewels over in our flower fairy garden. They love shells, sea glass, glitter, and sequins.
Oh wow! So also just shiny things seem like they really attract the fairies, don't they? Now what are some things that maybe we should be careful of to make sure we keep the fairies safe?
goblins, definitely. That's pretty much actually the only thing.
Is the goblins. And what can we do to help protect the fairies from the goblins?
We can give them nice homes like this.
Oh yes, wonderful.
And another thing you can do is, you could make a fairy home, and if the door is open and didn't have a door, you could use one of these. So in the day, it would be open, moved to the side, but at night it would be closed so it could keep the goblins out.
Oh wow. Very cool. Well, good. Thank you so much for sharing so much fairy knowledge with us, and we hope that everyone is inspired to create a fairy garden. So thank you so much for everybody watching.
Bye.
Bye, Lavender.
If you enjoyed watching this video, please click that like button. And if you'd like more fairy fun, subscribe to Once Upon a Fairy. So basically this connects. There's a bridge on there and the rock for the roof because there's a hole up there. And you can see very closely, I actually made the wood fall there so that she could go from here into there without having to fly outside.
Oh, that's very thoughtful of you. Very nice. Tell us more about this section of the garden.
And there's also something up there where they can sit up, and then they can climb this tree that leads to the magnolia tree, so they can go to the top of that tree, and then they can watch the sky and the stars.
Oh, wow.